Knuckleheads, did Tank Davis bend the knee from a perfectly placed punch from his opponent, Lamont Roach? Or was it a dollop of hair grease dripping into his eye that caused this guy to take a knee in the middle of a fight, in the middle of a championship fight, and think that there would be no consequence? My goodness, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Listen, Knuckleheads, I want to apologize first and foremost for not going live immediately after the big fight, which is what we usually do. I had a bit of a family obligation, but we're here. We're back, and we're going to be talking about this fight and this whole knee situation because that's a hot topic in boxing right now, among other things. First and foremost, that fight was a great fight, and Lamont Roach did a fantastic job. If you ask me, and I'm a big Tank Davis fan, I thought Lamont Roach just ever so slightly eked that one out. I thought he did the better work. I thought he was punching in between Tank Davis punching, and I just felt like Tank just couldn't figure this guy out. And I've said in the past, Tank Davis has sort of fallen in love with his power a la Deontay Wilder. I think he's a much more skilled boxer than Wilder. But I've always said he falls in love with his power. Sometimes he takes a bit too long to get going. He's not active enough. And that he would run into problems when he faced a technical fighter. And that's what we had here. I thought Lamont Roach deserved the decision. Nonetheless, it is what it is. It's a draw. But the big issue now is Lamont Roach taking this thing to the New York State Athletic Commission, as he should, as you would, or as you should, right? He's not suing Tank Davis. He's taking it to the commission to let them know, hey, your referee got it wrong. And I agree with him. And let me tell you guys exactly why I agree with Lamont Roach, right? So first and foremost, when in the history of boxing is it okay for a fighter to take it upon himself to take a knee and stop the action? When is that okay and it not be ruled a knockdown? I just can't really understand it. I mean, even when the opponent hits you with a low blow, right? If the referee didn't see a low blow, the action's not stopping. So Tank Davis, probably overestimating his importance, or maybe not considering the result as of now, but probably overestimating his importance and his position as the A side, decided I do whatever I want. Just like we have nowadays in our society with these young men and women. I do whatever I want. There's something in my eye, I'm going to take a knee. Let's say that's the case. Let's say it is a dollop of hair grease that dripped into his eye. Does that give him a right to get down on his knee and it not be ruled a knockdown? That is absolutely diabolical if you believe it's okay. Because what you're doing there is you're destroying bright line rules and you're creating a big gray area, which is going to allow future fighters. It sets an ugly precedence. You're going to allow future fighters to be able to, on their own accord, decide, hey, I need a quick break right now to wipe this sweat off my forehead, or to wipe it out of my eye, or to wipe off this grease, or to wipe off this pizza sauce, or whatever the hell it is. Absolutely not. In my opinion, the WBA explanation does not pass the boxing fans' constitutional muster. And if I'm speaking the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, which is what I do on this channel, I think it absolutely stinks of a mistake by the ref. And I think this fight should absolutely be overturned, because in a situation, looking at those scorecards and just doing the math is going to math in favor of Lamont Roach if that's a knockdown, because it's going to be a 10-8 round. I mean, what, at worst, it can be a 10-9 round, or I don't even know how they would calculate it if they still wanted to get Tank the win. But, you know, for me, it would be a 10-8 round. Lamont Roach is the clear victor in this fight. You see, the other problem with defending this action, right, is how are we to know that it wasn't Lamont Roach's punch that caused enough pain for Tank to take the knee? Let's say we take him at his word that it's the hair grease. How are we to know that it wasn't the punch that shifted the greasy sweat from this side of his brow into his eye, causing the pain? Right? I mean, that would be the equivalent. You know, if some unexpected pain can cause you to take a knee and not be counted out, that means that Lamont Roach could, you know, potentially block one of Tank Davis's punch, break Tank Davis's hand on the punch, and Davis takes a knee from the pain of breaking his hand, and there's no consequence. Similar to what kind of happened between him and Pitbull Cruz. I mean, obviously Tank didn't take the knee, but he hurt his hand. If he were to take the knee in that fight, are you guys who are advocating for it being okay to take a knee whenever you want, saying that a fighter taking a knee for an injury at any time shouldn't be counted out? I mean, that's absolute insanity. There are rules for that. It's a no contest before a certain amount of time if a referee stops a fight. And then they go to the scorecards if it's after a certain amount of rounds. But look, that's not even analogous, right? Because the referee didn't stop the action here. Tank Davis took it upon himself to stop the action. I mean, if you guys are going to say that it is okay for a fighter to just decide in the middle of trading blows with another fighter, in the middle of a fight with another fighter, for them to have the discretion to just take a knee whenever they want with no consequence, you are giving them so many excuses. And listen, for the fight community to be questioning this excuse is absolutely normal, right? I'm actually glad it's happening. I mean, we've been hit by so many excuses in this newer generation of fighters. I've heard of costumes weighing too much and affecting my legs. I've heard of them mixing potions into my water. I've heard of all kinds of excuses. And this hair grease one absolutely stinks out of the building. Tank Davis, in my opinion, based on the scorecards as they are, should have lost this fight. And the New York State Athletic Commission should overrule the decision from a draw to a win for Lamont Roach, and Tank Davis should be fighting to get his belt back against Lamont Roach. Knuckleheads, tell me what you think in the comment section below. Do you agree with me? Or do you think fighters should be allowed, at their own discretion, to just take a knee at any time without consequence and expect you to believe whatever justification they come up with? I'm interested. I mean, this is really a situation, in my opinion, right now that speaks to our society, the dedication, the narcissism, the accountability. I'm interested to hear what the public square has to say about this. Let me know down below. And subscribe and join and tell your friends about this video.
Subscribe and join the FightersRep. It'll be the best thing you ever did, knucklehead.